or even if you're not considered one of the absolute most top teams. But once again, as we reach the finals, we see that the cream has in fact risen to the top, and we've got two of the best teams in the room.
All right, let's watch one of the best players to ever play the game, Owen Turtenwald, draft here, starting things off, showing the table that he does in fact have a dowsing dagger in his pack.
I like Atsakan Archer there. What else did he see? Oh, a Territorial Hammer Skull. I see
nice.
it in the pack as well.
There's a Rigging Runner, Spell Pierce, Cobbled Wings, One with the Wind, Fire Shrine Keeper, but the Territorial Hammer Skull is going to be the pick here for Owen Turtenwald. Just a card that we've seen be impressive all weekend.
Yeah, Territorial Hammer Skull has been really overperforming. For a common, it's felt like an uncommon kind of all weekend.
It really has.
And, you were hot on that card yesterday, and we saw it crush, and then we saw it crush today. And I think you and I are about ready to just say, yeah, that's just maybe the best white common. Is it better than Pious Interdiction? It feels like it.
Wow, that's a great question.
Yeah.
Pious Interdiction is a real cost at 4. And it still allows your creatures to have their activated abilities or crew vehicles potentially.
That's right.
All right, taking a look here. Pick 2, Inspiring Cleric pulled to the front. I also see a Pirate Clasm in this pack. Skymarch Bloodletter near the front, as well as that Rootbound Crag.
This is an interesting pick already here for Owen because it does represent two different directions. If he takes the Inspiring Cleric, that's the solid on-color choice.
Right.
But Fiery Cannonade's a very powerful card and one that he may want to take because we have seen red-white be a real deck.
Inspiring Cleric is the pickup in the end for Owen here, passing that Fiery Cannonade, worth noting in this pack.
I am actually curious to see how this goes from here. One of the plays that you'll see sometimes the players make at this level is what they call the hook and cut. And that's where they'll pass a very good card like a Fiery Cannonade and then immediately move in on red and start taking red cards, trying to lure the person on their left into red and then taking all the good cards from them.
Let's take a look here. Some good options for Owen. Headstrong Brute, a really nice aggressive red card. Dire Fleet Captain, red and black. There's a Pounce in the pack, though, as well as that Dire Fleet Interloper near the front.
Yeah, so lots of options here for Turtenwald. If he takes that Headstrong Brute, though, the old hook and cut. So it looks like Turtenwald might be doing a little of that.
And, maybe the person next to him is like, ooh, Dire Fleet Captain, I'm doing it.
Yeah, they could be. Oh, was that Unfriendly Fire that I saw at the front? He went through it a little quickly, but...
Let's take a look. Yes, it is Unfriendly Fire. And you, dog.
You monster.
Skullduggery in the pack as well. Blightkeeper.
Yeah, you can see Owen, flirting with the idea of taking a Skullduggery here as well on power level, but Unfriendly Fire has proven itself to be very strong, killing many of the creatures in the format and occasionally killing your opponent.
Yeah, this card has impressed me as well, Marshall. Kind of wasn't expecting it coming into the format, to be honest with you. Water Trap Weaver here. Siren Lookout near the front for Turtenwald. A Pirate's Cutlass. Who's ever building that red-black pirate deck would surely be in one of that Cutlass.
Siren Lookout, though, is definitely a signal. That's a card that has certainly earned the respect of the players here. It is a very solid Magic card and one that Owen decided to pick up here. I think that, you're going to see people kind of hemming and hawing between, okay, there's something open, I should be picking it up, but also I don't want to pass things that are too good to my opponents. And that's sort of the line that Owen is trying to cross here. Not much for him here, though. A Steadfast Armasaur. It's a solid card.
Steadfast Armasaur could certainly join Owen's ranks. Notably a Duress, a Crushing Canopy in there as well. Both of these teams, of course, have team drafted before and have their own strategies.
Understatement city over here. If you come out to a GP, especially in years past, but even occasionally now, you'll see these guys just team drafting.
Just for fun.
Yeah, just for fun. That's what I was going to say.
I mean, it is fun.
It is fun, you're right. Was that One with the Wind that Owen took there? Looked like it.
One with the Wind, +2/+2, and flying. Taking a look here, we've got a Queen's Bay Soldier still in this pack, as well as a Depth of Desire.
I call it Queen Bey.
You mean Beyonce?
Yeah. That's her soldier.
Depths of Desire, a card that we've seen quite a lot of over this Grand Prix, and has proven to be, just really impressive every time we've seen it. Getting that treasure.
Wow.
Relevant.
Another one with the wind.
Siren's Ruse in the pack as well. Good in the Pirate deck. Prying Blade. Crash the Ramparts, a card that I've seen more of than I expected. One with the wind is going to be the pickup here for Turtenwald.
Yeah, you can see that he's moved in hard on blue here. And you can see why. It does seem to be the most open. Though this pack isn't particularly good.
Dive Down. Storm Sculptor.
Yeah, Storm Sculptor hasn't really impressed thus far. The tempo hit of having to pick up one of your creatures, while does give you the opportunity for a little bit of value, it has proven to be a little too expensive. Wow, Run Aground, that's late.
Nice. Kumena Speaker is what he has near the front, but Run Aground is going to be the pick.
Yeah, Owen clearly recognizing that blue was the open color and moving in. Right now, he's most likely in blue-red, and that is a fine color combo, generally Pirates.
Pirates, you get a lot of Raid in blue-red as well. There's a Spell Pierce for Owen. And we're going to take a look here. Review Owen's first pack. How are you feeling if you're Owen?
Well, he hemmed and hawed a little bit by starting out pretty hard in white with the Territorial Hammer Skull and the Inspiring Cleric. He then passed a very good red card, but moved in on red. And he picked up a Headstrong Brute as well as an Unfriendly Fire. But he's really got to kind of decide. I think that Owen is going to have decided that blue is the direction that he wants to go here. And the question is, does he want to pair it with red or with white?
Those one with the wins, I'm wondering what Owen is hoping to stick them on. Anything?
Anything, I think, is a good answer for that. Right now, one of the problems that Owen is going to try to tackle going into the next pack, especially if he decides not to be white but instead to be red, to go with this blue, is lack of creatures.
Right.
He has very few. He has one blue creature with the Siren Lookout there. He has one red creature, but the three cards that he has in white are creatures, so he may lean in that direction. One of the things that you have to balance when you're doing a team draft is take the cards that are best for you, take away the cards that could be good for your opponents, but also make sure that you have a deck that's playable by the end of it, because if you get a little too caught up in it, you can fan out your deck and be like, I'm 3 colors with 5 creatures, what happened?
Right.
And remember, wins for you, again, it's zero sum, are just as good as losses for your opponent.
I think I spy an Air Elemental in this pack, as well as a Daring Saboteur here. Pack 1, pick 2 for Owen Turtenwald, Pirates Prize near the back. Air Elemental is going to be the pickup. Legion's Judgment in this pack as well. Vanquish the Weak. Another Pirates Cutlass. Cards to just note.
Owen's going to be pretty happy to pick up an Air Elemental here. Just an absolutely rock-solid 5-drop, and it's in what has become his primary color, which is blue.
You have played in some team drafts, Marshall.
I have. Not that many, but I did play in the Team Draft Super League. That was my main experience with it.
How did you like playing team draft?
It's hard.
It is hard.
It is, but I really enjoyed it. I mean, it adds a couple of layers to the draft that just aren't normally there, and I really enjoyed it.
Siren Lookout here near the front for Owen, as well as a Water Trap Weaver. Contract Killing near the front as well.
Yeah, I feel like he's going to take the Siren Lookout to keep the flyers going in the air. But this is a close pick, I believe, between that and the Water Trap Weaver. Now, if he does want to be in black, or if he feels that his opponent to the right is in black, then he could easily cut the Contract Killing. It's hard to imagine that he pivots so far as to actually play it in his deck at this point. But, one of the cool things that he's doing here is he is passing multiple playable blue cards, and that means that it gives him either a better chance to wheel it, or he's not as punished if his opponent is also in blue.
Yeah, Owen does end up taking the Contract Killing. Storm Sculptor here, another Contract Killing in this pack. Do you take the next one?
Well, yes. I don't think that there's much else for him here anyway. There's no good blue cards that he wants. The card that kind of caught my eye was Shining Aerosaur, but I don't know, not being in Owen's head, I don't know if he thinks he's in white at this point, and passing 2 contract killings in a row would be bad. Taking one, you might as well take the other one since he's not giving up. Remember, he's making a value judgment on each one of these picks. And the judgment is, how good is this for me, and or how bad would this be for my opponent if I gave this to my opponent? And there's another black removal spell.
Dark Nourishment.
And you know what ends up happening here a lot of the time that's kind of funny is he may just take it and he's like, I'm black now.
Yeah.
Like that happens. It really does. Prosperous Pirates, though, is a good card. And Dive Down is actually a card that would go pretty well in his deck, given that he's trying to do the Flyers thing. But Dark Nourishment is the best card in this pack by a lot.
Yeah, looks like Owen is shifting gears here into blue-black, potentially, with 2 pickups of Contract Killings into a Dark Nourishment. We've seen a lot of aggressive decks in this format so far. He might be trying to take a more controlling route.
Well, he ended up with a Fleet Swallower here, which has not impressed, let's just say.
It's very expensive for a 6/6 that mills. When it attacks, the player puts the top half of his or her library rounded up into the graveyard. I believe that was a Bloodstained Paladin.
A Paladin of the Bloodstained. Interesting. Again, this doesn't really tell us exactly where Owen's going to end up at this point, but it's kind of funny because if you just watch this, you're starting to think to yourself, well, where is he at? Where is he going? How many playables does he have? But the truth is that this is pretty normal, actually, for a team draft. You are often left to kind of scrap together.
You're constantly navigating the waters. They're just forever changing.
Exactly. He's going to take Shorekeeper because he didn't see really anything worth passing there or worth cutting from his opponents. And on top of it, he does still want to be in blue.
Who doesn't like a little Trilobite?
I love that guy. I don't think it's very good, but I want it to be.
Pirate's Prize here in the pack, as well as Legion's Judgment, Jungle Delver, a Skittering Heartstopper. He's going to take the Pirate's Prize, draw 2 cards, create a treasure. Owen's still heavily leaning towards blue. But we did get that Paladin pickup, so... Water Trap Weaver still left in the pack.
That's absurd.
That card is great.
Yeah, that card is great, and Owen, if he wasn't such a professional, may have just shaken the table by how hard he windmill slammed it. He didn't want to give away that he was excited about it, but he would have been like, ooh, sweet. He does need to make sure that he hits playables, of course.
Cancel in this pack, Rallying Roar, Nest Robber, Demystify, Rummaging Goblin, as well as a Blossom Dryad. Just going to take the cancel.
Yeah, all else being equal, if he doesn't feel like passing these cards is really going to do much, he's going to be taking playables for his deck because he's a little bit light on them at the moment.
Prosperous Pirates, another Dive Down in the pack. Looming Altasaur, sad little 1/7, Slice and Twain, as well as that Spyglass near the back. We're going to just pick up Prosperous Pirates. They come along with 2 treasure. 3/4, solid body. There's that Fleet Swallower.
I think I would just take it at this point.
Yeah.
There may be some matchups where Fleet Swallower actually looks pretty good, or if he's desperately low on playables at some point, he may actually play it. Having picked up a Prosperous Pirates the pick before, I should have said previous.
You really should have.
Yeah, it's pretty nice, though, because it actually does set you up to cast the Fleet Swallower the following turn.
I have actually drafted the Fleet Swallower.
Oh, no.
Yeah, it wasn't great.
The big fish, huh?
Spoiler alert. Yeah.
It just flopped around and
It
died.
just flopped around and died.
Did you get to cast it?
I did. I did
okay.
cast it, and I did hit them once. I mean, well, I didn't hit them, but I attacked, and they had to mill a lot.
Okay.
Yeah, you're right. That doesn't sound great, because they just blocked.
Right. Ooh. Premium common.
Some beef added to Owen's deck here. All right, there you go, pack 2. Let's take a look through Owen's picks thus far. Yeah, Marshall, what do you make of this, adding the second pack into Owen's deck?
Well, he clearly added a reasonable amount of good blue playables. The problem here is that it introduced yet another possible third color, this time black. And I actually think it might be the best option at this point because he picked up 3 solid removal spells, 2 of them unconditional and one of them really good against aggressive decks and able to kill small to medium-sized creature with Dark Nourishment. So if I were him, I would actually be leaning in that direction. I would probably be thinking I'm going to be blue-black at this point because those cards are just better than his red and better than his white.
Ancient Bronton on there, the star, no doubt, of what Owen has picked up so far.
Yeah, at least in our eyes.
Yeah. Yeah, it's got to be tough here, kind of trying to figure out which way the wind is blowing. 2-1 with the winds there at the back, but like we said, not a high creature count. I'll be really interested to see where Owen ends up going in pack 3.
Same. I think that he's looking for a sign, basically a great card, in one of his other 3 options, and to really solidify him in that. Though, like I said, I think if I was sitting in Owen's seat, I would assume that I'm going to play the black cards over the others at this point, though it's not clear cut. It's close.
So when you build your decks for team draft, you get to help each other, right?
Yeah, you can totally help each other, and part of that is you get to talk about the cards that you pass. Because imagine it's if you and I were playing, it would be like if Tim Willoughby was sitting in between us on the other team. And what that means is if I pass a good card to Tim, he passes it to you. When we're done, I say, hey, Maria, did you get the Mothrin Fane that I passed? You say, no, I never saw it. Tim has it.
Yep.
And the other thing that you have to note here is that these players know who they're going to be playing against. Now, like right now, he can look over and see who he's playing against. Admiral Beckett Brass.
Interesting.
I got to say, Admiral Beckett Brass has not been particularly impressive in the format thus far. I don't know what else he can really take. If he wants to stay in black, he could take the Ruthless Knave.
There's a Fire Cannon Blast he's pulled to the front, as well as a Drover of the Mighty.
Yeah, I think what he's done is he's identified that Drover of the Mighty is the best card in the pack, Maria.
Okay.
And while that doesn't fit into his plans very well, he doesn't want to pass it.
Interesting.
And he's right, by the way. That card's nuts.
That card is great.
Yeah.
The Admiral, hard to cast. Giving other pirates you control +1/+1 is pretty cool. The second ability there, I think, doesn't usually really happen, or is kind of a little bit of a win more situation. Let's take a look here. Another one with the win, this time in foil. We got a Savage Stomp.
Yep, he's going to take the Savage Stomp. It's just funny because, this is, of course, a lesson in team draft. I mean, Owen knows that these green cards are likely to go into this opponent's deck on the left, and these are premium cards here. I mean, Savage Stomp is awesome in that deck, and Drover is also flat out awesome.
Savage Stomp, there's the pickup. Is there any chance he ends up playing green?
I would say it's unlikely. That would be his 4th alternate option. So it's starting to push it a little bit.
This is kind of hallmark team draft right here, though.
Absolutely. What you're seeing is how you're supposed to do it. You're supposed to not pass the really good stuff when you think that it's likely that your opponent is going to be in that color. And based on the cards that Owen passed in the first pack and didn't see coming to him in the second, he's determined that green is the most likely color for the player on his left.
Depths of Desire near the front. Nice bounce spell that nets you a treasure. Unknown Shores as well could help fix some mana, but at a cost. Run aground in the pack. Emergent Growth and Swashbuckling. Depths of Desire is going to be the pickup. What else fixes mana? Treasure does. And I think, at least for me, coming into this weekend, I underestimated just how well Treasure can be used to fix your colors in draft. Glorifier of Dusk here, as Owen takes a look through this pack.
He's got some good blue options, though. Oh, but there's also another
contract killing.
Yeah. But there's also a Weaver in this pack that he could take.
Oh, Water Trap Weaver. I see it back there.
Yep.
He's just going to slam that contract killing.
That probably cements the black. That would be his 3rd one of those. And when you're playing team draft, where sometimes the decks can be a little clunky and a little awkward, a contract killing can go a pretty long way.
Pirate's Cutlass here. We've got an Ixali's Diviner, a Tempest Caller. Oh, that's a nice one. A Pirate's Prize. And a Windstrider. Move to the front.
Well, this is an interesting pickup for him because Tempest Caller is the most powerful card, but he really has to think about his deck and say, am I going to be the type of deck that can take advantage of it? Because if you go Tempest Caller, tap down your team, attack for 2 or go, it's awful.
It's not great.
It's a 4-mana 2/3, and it's not easy to cast either at double blue. So you really need to back it up with punch, and that usually means being in the Merfolk deck. When Owen looks at his deck and he sees that he has 3 contract killings, right? This is a control deck.
Look at this.
Ooh, Deadeye
Plunderers. He's been given a gift in the form of these Plunderers. +1/+1 for each artifact you control. Pay 4, make a treasure. Get in the pile. What a pickup for Turtenwald.
Boom.
Keep your friends close and your enemies within range can certainly be said of Team Draft.
He looks like he got the Admiral Beckett brass back.
Get in there, Beckett. Ruthless Knave. Probably just a better choice here for Owen.
Yeah, it is, especially since he's solidified that black is his second color.
Well, this late in the draft, and we have decided on our second color.
Yeah.
It is great to be able to watch Team Draft. Run aground, left in the pack here, as well as a Shorekeeper and a River Sneak. Queen's Agent, though, available as well. Another Unknown Shores. Heartless Pillage.
It is kind of interesting how much treasure Owen can actually make at this point.
Look at this. All cards in his color. He's going to choose a Heartless Pillage, which forces your opponent to discard. You get to make a treasure if you have Raid enabled.
Mm-hmm.
Desperate Castaways here.
No, that actually looks pretty good here. I think it's better than Primal Amulet for him for sure. And probably better than Siren's Ruse as well. So
yeah,
I actually like that as a pickup quite a bit. If his deck has one of his more defensive draws, which it absolutely might, he is trying to set up a sort of a longer game card advantage type thing with the Pirates prizes that he has. That's the kind of card that can go a long way. And he's already got a few other multiple ways to make treasure, which can make the Desperate Castaways able to attack if he needs to. It looks like he's going full defense mode here with the Headwater Sentries, though.
Headwater Sentries, a 2/5. They're the Tempest Caller added to Turtenwald's pile. Like you said, unlikely to make the final cut of the deck, yet to be seen. Skittering Heartstopper, that's a good defensive card. Owen slams it. Costly Plunder and Spreading Rot. Spreading Rot, of course, a sideboard card that can be used to get rid of some of those pesky flip lands that we have in this set. And a Shorekeeper. There you go, Marshall.
Last pick, Shorekeeper. I like that.